up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for Monday Night Raw. And this is January 14th, 2019. And so we open up our Raw M. Night Shyamalan Glass commercial with Braun Strowman coming down to the ring. And you have Braun Strowman. He starts talking about, facing Brock Lesnar. Baron Corbin interrupts him, starts jaw-jacking him. Braun Strowman gets out of the ring, goes after Baron Corbin. They wind up in a parking lot where Baron Corbin's hiding in a limousine. Braun Strowman smashes the window, rips off the door of the limousine. Baron Corbin runs away. Vince McMahon pops up. It was Vince McMahon's limousine. He's pissed. They cut to commercial. You come back from commercial. Vince McMahon fines Braun Strowman $100,000. Braun Strowman says something back to Vince McMahon. Braun Strowman gets kicked out of the main event match at Royal Rumble with Brock Lesnar. You would have to believe this is because of his arm injury. You don't know if he's fully healed yet. He hasn't been in the ring yet again, so maybe they were waiting to see how it was going to go, and apparently it didn't go fast enough. Either way, Braun Strowman is out of the main event. Your first match of the night is Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. That's your first match of the night. The one person most hated in WWE. You go from Baron Corbin, who is a charisma vacuum, who has been kind of hated on in virtually every aspect of social media because no one really wants to see him, to Nia Jax, who is the female equivalent. And the match is exactly what you would think it would be. Sasha Banks, Ronda Rousey carry the match. Nia Jax and Tamina not really adding a whole lot to it, and I'm sorry, and I'm not even trying to hate on Tamina, but she's not nearly as good as she used to be. So the long and short of it is Sasha Banks gets Tamina to tap. There's an in-ring promo afterwards with Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey. Everything Ronda Rousey says gets taken the wrong way by Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks gets frustrated, says, "I'm going to take your championship." Whatever. They follow that bit with another bit backstage where you come back from commercial, Sasha and Ronda are still jaw-jacking, except now Bayley and Natalya there are trying to get them to go to separate corners, basically. And then Bayley and Natalya start jaw-jacking for a minute. The Riot Squad show up, and they're like, "We just like instigating. We see when there's a problem, we like to exploit it." And so they said, "Find a partner, and we'll have a match tonight." And so clearly that's going to happen later. You get a weird backstage promo, a bunch of superstars lined up outside Vince McMahon's office door, probably talking about, the open spot for the Brock Lesnar match. Jerry Lawler comes out of the office because they're in Memphis. And then you have No Way Jose come by with a conga line, and Jerry Lawler's just staring at them all like they're stupid. So it was kind of a pointless bit right there. And then you got Lucha House Party, Kalisto and Grand Metalik versus the Revival, and I don't know, decent match for what it was. Nothing spectacular about it. Going to cut right to the finish. Revival win by kind of switching roles. Grand Metalik was getting pinned. He had his foot on the rope. One of the Revival kind of kicked his foot off from underneath the rope. They get the win. Not much there that I really cared about. And during the match, there were all these interviews about people wanting to face Brock Lesnar, and it was a bunch of people you knew were not going to face Brock Lesnar. So it just took away from the match. You could tell they didn't care about it at all. And then you get a backstage Vince McMahon promo and interviews asking him, about what's going to happen with the main event at Royal Rumble. Vince says he's going to the ring. So you come back from commercial, Vince is in the ring. He immediately gets interrupted by John Cena, who says, "I've been here. I've been the constant for this company for a long time when other guys have left. You've always been able to count on me." And Drew McIntyre comes out, followed by Baron Corbin, of all fucking people, and then Finn Balor. So there's a lot of machismo going on here. Finn Balor, he's kind of getting played down by Vince McMahon saying there's a lot of beef here, I don't think you can hang. So you automatically know right then and there who's going to win the match for the title, or yeah, at least to face Brock Lesnar. You know who's going to win to face Brock Lesnar. Right there with that bit. So at that point, you take away any surprise there could have been. So sure enough, it starts out a fatal 4-way match. Finn Balor versus McIntyre versus Cena versus Corbin. That's the end of the first hour, and I could give a shit less at this point about this show. You've got 2 matches already that were just thrown together. You've already used Baron Corbin too much. You've had your first match highlighted by Nia Jax as the main heel. So nobody cares about that. And the audience was really quiet during this entire first hour. There was very little reaction from the crowd, and deservedly so. Vince McMahon has a backstage bit with Jinder Mahal coming back from commercial after all of that. And Jinder saying, you know, I feel like I should be involved in this match too, blah, blah, blah. Vince McMahon says, you can pick anybody you want to, and if you beat that person, then you are in the Fatal 4-Way instead of that person. So you know he's going to pick Finn Balor, and guess what happens? He picks Finn Balor. So then you get your Riot Squad versus Bayley with Natalya with mystery partner match, and the mystery partner turns out to be Nikki Cross. You've already seen a couple glimpses of some of the people they said they were coming, like EC3. So here's Nikki Cross in a match. This match was honestly a mess. There were a lot of girls just out of place, not doing shit right. It wasn't going very well. And to be very honest, I wasn't that interested. Bayley, Natalya, Nikki Cross get the win. Moving on. Dean Ambrose promo after that. He's talking about he don't think it's fair. He's fighting in a triple threat match for the IC title. Whatever. It was a decent promo, but you know, it didn't add anything to anything. Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor was next. You knew what this was going to be right off the bat. And literally, I could have planned this out before I seen the match. You knew Jinder Mahal was going to try to sneak attack, get the jump on Finn Balor. That's exactly what happened. Finn Balor gets played like he's, you know, coming back from insurmountable odds. He does, he wins. Then you get a Lio Rush iPhone promo talking up Bobby Lashley. That leads into the triple threat match. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley. This was probably the best match of the night as far as the action went. Couple of cool spots. Nothing that major though, to be very honest. Bobby Lashley I do think was the weak link of the match. And you have Dean Ambrose, who is incredibly talented. You have Seth Rollins, who is incredibly talented. And who wins the match and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion? Bobby Lashley. So, best match of the night, terrible ending. And you're utilizing a guy who has not been over at all, and the fans have very loudly acknowledged that. So literally everything that Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Triple H said a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, it's already out the window, and I said that was going to happen. I said that you give them 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to go back to the status quo, same old bullshit, and the fans are going to lose interest again. You're going to lose ratings. It was horrible. So, that's the end of the second hour there, at the beginning of the triple threat match, actually. And then you get this really stupid moment backstage where you got this guy, he's bringing Alexa Bliss coffee. He just decides to walk into the dressing room after knocking and screaming her name for 5 fucking minutes. And of course she's there with no shirt on, holding the shirt over her tits. And it's like, okay, so we got the classic Vince McMahon woman objectification bit. We've been used to women objectification in wrestling for a very long time, but let's get real about it. Alexa Bliss is too goddamn talented for this. Point blank, end of story. She's too good on a mic, she's too good in a ring. And you know, she's not the best in the ring, but she's good enough to hold a solid match. And she's damn sure too good on a mic. So that's why I bring up the objectification thing, because I thought we were kind of past that, and I don't even cry about it, but when you're utilizing somebody like Alexa Bliss for something like this, I'm already over it. So you have a moment of bliss, She debuts the new women's tag team titles, which there was no response. The crowd was just so dead, and I can't blame them. And then you get like the cringiest ending of a segment of the night. One of the guys from Heavy Machinery, Otis, he comes out and he's just being goofy and stupid. And he's interrupting Paul Heyman, who's, delivering a pretty good promo about the guys who might face Brock Lesnar, and it just went in completely south. They cut it to introducing all the participants for the next match. It was just weird, stupid, awkward, nothing good about it. So that brings you to the Fatal 4-Way. I really don't even need to get into it. It's Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, John Cena. Finn Balor wins. What a surprise. There were no real great spots in this match. Nothing that really took your breath away. Nothing memorable about it. And you have literally what you could have predicted at the beginning of the show. So this is going to get a big fat 0 for me. This is a 0 out of 10 episode of Raw. And not only because of the performance, but because this was like a 3-hour interspersed trailer for Glass. There were so many things, commercials, special looks, behind the scenes, whatever. It was too much. And I've said that WWE has a problem with being too commercialized, but the bigger problem here is that they probably lost people because of all of it. I'm willing to bet you that somewhere during these 3 hours, somebody saw another Glass commercial or that special look and they were just like, click. Because it was too much. So this was not a very well thought out show. It had some horrible endings. It had some horrible promos. Overuse of Baron, Nia Jax. Just really awkward stage settings in the back where, like, the conga line and Jerry Lawler and Heavy Machinery coming out during a moment of bliss. The Alexa Bliss backstage bit. It was just all bad. So I'm just kind of, hanging in to do the reviews, and that's it. Raw was exactly what it has been. And so all the empty promises are coming to show themselves as just that. I think the fans should be pissed. I think when Vince McMahon walks out, I think these idiotic fans in the audience should quit being, oh, Vince McMahon is so great. No, the show sucks now. And they should let the people in charge know how bad it sucks. So that's where I'm at. I feel like the crowd should have been much more violently against this, and I say violently by booing and stuff, not literally. I think they should have been much more vocal about this. I think they should have been much more aggressive when it comes to showing their displeasure about this, because this was a shit show. If I'd have paid money and gone to this, I'd have been pissed. So 0 out of 10, they don't deserve anything this time around. Nothing. Even the one fucking decent match on the card had a shit ending. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, or if you agree, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kaged and Jackowitz. Kaged Nation out.